to record game footage too, and I want to make sure before I really begin that my recording separates those channels. And also that we don't hear it twice. That's important. So let me make a recording real quick, just on this music would be fine. Can you say something?
Sure. I'm saying things.
Okay, that should be good. Let me reboot this. I'll let people roll in here while I do this. Let me make a recording real quick. Okay, so we're definitely on that channel. Let me make a recording real quick, just on this music. I hear my subs coming in.
Yeah.
I think it worked. I think I'm good.
I think so.
I have no idea why my subs are coming in so quiet.
What's up?
But thank you for the sub. No idea at all. Wait, is this mixer? I'm trying to figure out how it works still.
Yeah, that new one you got.
Yeah,
cool.
It's complex. Let me see. Okay, it just needed me to hit that button. I guess I was just confused about volume.
In the meantime, just a lot of people eating.
Shared this like 3 times in the last 10 days. Thanks, Buggy Twitch.
Yeah, they're changing the system. I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I am going to mute the notifications. I just was wondering why they weren't making noise. So, welcome, Mega Man 1. This is Mega Man Review Series. So I'm going to be running through all of this, the entire 11 games, and I'll probably do the X games as well later in the year. Maybe. I don't really look forward to playing hardly any of those, actually. I only like the first 2, if I'm being completely honest. 4 and 5 are alright. I still think they're kind of boring. 3 is really boring. 6, 7, and 8 I kind of really hate. So I don't know about that series. This series, I like these games. Mega Man 1, though, has some problems, but it also has some good things. So we're awarding points for originality, new stuff going on, good ideas, just good design, things that are just all around a good thing to put in. I'm also counting what I consider to be bad. Things that are unfair will go under the unfair garbage, so those are separate. I'm not going to give them bad points and unfair points for the same thing. Unfair is especially bad. I feel like most of the difficulty in these games comes directly from them being unfair. So I felt like that's something I need to measure.
Yeah, it's something that a lot of games had a hard time growing out of.
Yeah. So, one thing right out the gate that Mega Man 1 is doing that no other game really has done. When did this game come out? I'm sure it's not the only platformer that has stage select, but I don't feel like most of them have at this point. None of them committed to it quite as well as Mega Man 1 did, and for as much shit as I'm about to give this game, I think they deserve an originality point right here for this.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of games I grew up with were on the Master System, and you were just thrown into level 1, and that's it. And there was never really any like options for anything. It was pretty rare to see a menu.
So this is 1987. A couple years after Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, Shatterhand has it and stuff, but when does Shatterhand come out? And there's a couple other games I know on the NES that have it.
I thought Shatterhand was like a really late release. Like,
I looked up Shatterhand release date. Get Tomorrow Never Dies, 1997. Thanks. That's not it. There are certainly. Oh, 1991. Yeah. So yeah, this is a pretty early choose your adventure platformer here. I kind of want to give him a slapper for the menu music, but it's too short, so I'm not going to do it. You got a preference on stage here, other than Elec Man?
I don't. It's been forever since I played through these.
The correct answer is Bomb Man, but Guts Man and Cut Man also work. I am gonna give him slapping songs. Combining the boss music and intro. Honestly, the intro almost deserves its own thing too, but slapping songs for the intro music for that. Bomb Man's music's pretty good too. What do you think about Bomb Man's music?
I remember it. I think I remember 1 and 2 the most for music. You're right about the just the jingle to start up the stage, because I mean, it's so memorable. You can't help but like give it points for that. It's stuck around forever.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like they deserve an originality point for the boss intro's idea as well. It's just really well done. And I am going to give him another one for this Cutman song. I actually, or not Cutman, but Bomb Man. I really like the music. The stage design here, it's your basic platformer stage.
Yeah.
It's anything special about it here?
It's kind of like, I mean, if you get damaged, then you have to go get, that's health, right?
No, it's weapon energy, which seems
right,
stupid, but whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of like punish you for going in and getting like ammo, and there's not really much point. You know, you shouldn't be using anything by now.
Well, there's ammo, or energy, I mean.
Yeah.
I feel like ladders are terrible, and they really overuse them. I don't have a lot to say about this stage. It's pretty generic. That's why I picked it. It's hard to rate, and I gotta get in the mindset of reviewing what I just saw, and I don't feel like there's any idea here at all, really. It's just your standard platformer stuff. Even for 87.
I think the only thing you really learn from this is that you can shoot through walls, and they can shoot through walls.
You know what? That's a good point. That's important. I'm gonna give him one for that, but...
Because, I mean, after you've done the fight and you go down the ladder, everything should be safe and you can get your energy, so it's kind of a, I guess, a bit of a tutorial.
Let me check my hotkey scripts here real quick. I'm gonna have some visuals on those bars later. Ever done something strange?
I think one of the really cool things about the early Mega Man games is that they all use very simple level structure, or at least screen structure, and they all kind of look like Tetris pieces, and when it's going really well, you've just got a simple idea set on a simple like stage design, and then it just kind of cycles through those ideas, and it's pretty, like, it's good, and it communicates well to the player, I think.
Yeah.
It's only like later when like platformers got really complex, and then suddenly there's vertical scrolling and horizontal scrolling, and no one's really sure where anything should be placed in a room.
Anytime they introduce a new enemy like this in a completely fair way, they're teaching us how this asshole works.
Yeah.
If you try and get past him, he'll punish the hell out of you. So this is good game design, and Sniper Joe. Gonna give him a point. I also like Sniper Joe as an enemy. These things, though, really annoying. Yeah. I feel like they're not unfair garbage, but I just don't like the way they explode.
Yeah, I think those could have been introduced in like a safer space of like just a horizontal hallway, and that's it. Not with all the pits and stuff, because you don't know they're going to explode. It's just like, oh, okay. That could knock you back into a pit immediately.
Yep. I'm gonna have a bad idea for that garbage. These things are fine. And I feel like this is good too.
Yeah.
They're pretty original too. I think this is... I can't think of any other game in 1987 that had these contraptions.
Yeah, I think this is like the only one. I can't think of anything either.
We get them points. I like the way they were introduced as well. That's why they're getting 2. So, this stage is fine. Ooh. It just all around teaches you how to jump and shit. Here's this guy.
I think that if the missiles were coming from the other side and switched depending on where you were, it probably would have been better for learning about that. But like when that thing just came out of nowhere at the top, it's like, what? How do you know?
unfair garbage that's pretty unique to this one. The spikes are, not only are they here, which I think is stupid, also they kill you regardless of iframes. You don't have iframes in this game, actually.
Right.
Not from spikes anyway. Once again, they're introducing a new enemy like this.
Yeah, I think it's fine because you're not directly in its way like at the start. Because it's just going in that starburst, it's easier to avoid. But I don't know.
There's a tease life that I've never gotten. It's just impossible to get. Okay, so here we have this boss tunnel thing, and that's original as well, but it's annoying in this game because it's just more stage, so they don't get any credit for this, really. This is just a checkpoint.
Yeah.
I do appreciate the checkpoints, though, and you know what? That's a good idea that they have those. They didn't have to.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that later on they just use the boss door as like, it's just apparent that, you know, you're at the boss, there's the gateway, and that's it. It's just nice to kind of like have that closure to a level, even if you see it and maybe you die. You can at least, like, you know how far you are on the stage.
This boss is a very fair, one of my favorite bosses actually, and they deserve some points for that because he's just great. And getting to power is an original and good idea. So there you go. There's two things. I think Bomb Man is a good boss, so he gets a good idea mark. That idea is ranked. Those two things are gonna encapsulate most of what I think of everything in this game. A boss's weaknesses, the way the weapons affect. We know that ahead of time that's a thing, and that's an original good idea.
Yeah, that was really cool.
So, well, a Guts Man happens to be the weakness to Bomb Man, but you know, I don't feel like I feel like this is a recurring problem across the board, but maybe I'm alone in thinking this. This game, all of them, none of them really tell you where to go. It's an open game, and that's fine, but there's no direction at all. You just have 6 or 8 bosses, and you have no idea which one to pick. And then once you've killed it, you have no idea what you're good against now. As I played through 9 and 10, I guessed completely wrong the entire time. With all the experience that I have, I still couldn't do it.
Yeah, I think it's part of just like that time period where everything was just like trying to extend itself and add out like a very short experience.
Yeah, I'm not gonna mark them a bad idea for that. It's just open. I think it's too open, and that annoys me a little bit, but whatever. People had Nintendo Power, I guess. I'm gonna give Guts Man a slapper because it's my favorite song in the entire series. Here's the Mets.
I like these enemies.
Yeah, they never stop using these, so they deserve some originality for these.
Yeah, they've only just kind of changed them over the years.
A good idea to put them in the first time you see them in a very harmless place. This thing, though, can go right to hell. Unfair points. They deserve like 4. I am giving them like 2 for these. They're too unfair. They're more than unfair. They're double unfair. This is garbage. This is so bad. They do show it to you to show you how it works, though. Sort of.
It's neat that they show it to you right away, but then it's just like, well, get good.
They don't do it well enough. They deserve a bad point for that too. They didn't do it right. They didn't show you shit. The rest of this level's, I mean, that's it. This level's over now, so that's Guts Man, which is pretty lame.
Hammer Joes. I don't even know what those guys are called.
I'm just gonna lump laziness under bad ideas, and I think this stage being short is a little lazy, but it's not that lazy. It's like half as long as the rest of the stages in this game, though. They do deserve a bad idea. Anytime instant death like this happens, it's just unfair. I hate it.
I think the this kind of like fall. There's a Japanese mini game in it's kind of prevalent where you pick a path and then it like goes up and down, like it goes up and then it hits a branch and then changes directions. I kind of feel like that's what inspired like that kind of fall.
I hate it.
But it's it's not fun. It's one of those like just do the level over again, learn.
The Stompy bot has too much HP, does too much damage, and is completely random. That's a bad idea. It's not unfair, really, but it is bad. I don't like it. This boss is fine. He's weird, but it's not bad. I think he's an okay boss. So you have to jump or you get stunned. If you jump over his toss, one of the problems with Mega Man bosses often is that you're gonna have to die a couple times to figure out what you're supposed to do, and this is what you're supposed to do, more or less. But then we do have his weakness, which, you know, will really mess his day up if you hit him with it. It destroys him. Pretty good. This is the one where you can pick up boulders. I mean, that's Gutsman's weapon, which is a terrible, terrible thing. So bad idea. Gutsman's weapon sucks so much. It's one of the worst in the series. How many Robot Masters are there? Let me do some math here. There's...
Calculating.
86, I guess. It's simple math, isn't it? 86 powers that you can have, aside from Rush and, you know, all those extra ones. Right, his is in the top 3 worst powers. It sucks. It's up there with Power Stone and some other ones, because you have to have a block to even use it. If you do have a block, it's not that bad, but you don't. You never have a freaking block, ever.
Right. Yeah.
Cut Man is a slapper.
I love his intro.
This is my favorite stage in the game. Here's some blocks. Egg on my face for pretending that they don't exist. Well, they really don't, even in this stage, where his weakness is this. We're wasting it. It takes energy, too. Like, it's just awful all around. It's such a bad decision everywhere. It's not that good.
It's kind of like, it's just a throwaway idea. I mean, later games had, you know, walls that you could break to get through, but, like, what's the point?
The blocks being in the start for no reason notwithstanding, I do think this is a good stage, and I'm going to give it a good idea. For the 2 screens we just went through, they're both good. I enjoy all of what I'm looking at here. Even though it's a vertical thing, it's just really good. It's fun. It's fair all around. They just keep recycling the same idea, and it's working well. They do an entire stage like this. I'm gonna give them another point. That's double good. This thing's cool too. It's pretty harmless. It's just neat.
Mega Man has a lot of enemies that just kind of like they fire off their volleys and then they go invincible for a short while. I think it worked pretty well for early games because you could, if you're good, you could just like get by them. Or you could take your time and safely destroy them or whatever, but it's, I think it got a little bit obnoxious in some games.
I don't think weapon energy is a bad idea. It's a bad idea when the weapon sucks, and that's just going to be by weapon.
Right.
Because you shouldn't be able to spam Elec Man the whole game. That's stupid. That's too strong. So limiting that is fine. And that they drop weapon energy anyway, like regularly.
It gives you an incentive to kill things.
The score in this game is a bad idea. I don't think you get a damn thing for score. I didn't even remember that, but a lot of our pickups are just score instead of anything. I'd rather get nothing. Than pretending that I'm gaining something by picking these orbs up sucks. I don't think you ever get like a extra life or anything like that for...
In the spirit of like NES games, you might, but it might be some insane value.
Bosses dropping HP is an original good idea.
Yeah, those are pretty good.
Well, it's a good idea anyway. The way they did it in this is never changed, so I'm gonna give them a point for that. The tiny and big HP and weapon dropping is good.
I like the placement of that guy, just because you could stay on the ladder and watch the level without getting harmed.
I appreciate the blocks being here. That's leading into this boss. It's kind of like a heads up on this boss, but not really. I feel like it's not very clear that that's what he's weak to, but you could maybe pick up on that.
I think it's because like the textures are not like they don't really match anything. I mean, they stand out for the entire level because everything's got these rectangles, and then you've got these like bricks, or overlapping rectangles. But
I feel like his weakness is really awkward and stupid. I like the idea that his weakness is there, but it's bad. It's just not done right. So
yeah,
I'm gonna give him a bad point for that.
it does at least like stand out, having it like everything is always a square room, and then suddenly this guy has bricks in his room, like Guts Man. It's
ultimately Guts Man is going to earn them 3 bad points because Elec Man's next, and I'll show you why on Elec Man's stage. Oh boy, this stage sucks ass. Bad idea. Nah, this stage is gonna rack up all kinds of unfair points, and
I don't think those blocks do respawn if you die.
no, they're gone forever, and that means if you do it here in Elec Man stage, what I'm talking about is, man, that makes this boss impossible.
Oof.
If I'm neutral on a stage, I just won't give it points. I'm pretty neutral on some of this. This is interesting here. I could have sworn they shoot lightning, but like this is really hard for what it is, but it can be done without taking damage. It's just really hard.
Gotta be good at footsies.
Oh no.
That's mean.
Yeah, you can kill these enemies. I feel like at this point, the stage is still decent, so you can just give it a good for this for now. But up here, right here, here comes the bad. This isn't unfair yet, but it is crappy. These things are stupid as hell, and if they shoot you, you let go of the ladder and fall way the hell down. It sucks. This is just dumb. It's a 2-ladder screen, so they deserve another bad point for doing it twice in a row. Like, what the hell? That's lazy. And then we got Yoku blocks, the first ones in video games.
Oh baby.
Yeah.
My favorite blocks.
Oh my god. They're not bad yet. I feel like this is actually a really fair intro for them. And you can even go left and get some stuff, so believe it or not, I think I am going to give Yoku blocks a good idea point this time.
I mean, they're original.
They are. That too. But because they're implemented correctly here, they're not bad. Like, when I did Mega Man 9, they had a bunch, and I blew through them on the first try because they weren't done stupidly. This thing here is such a trap that I hate it. I despise. But I mean, it is a bonus thing, but it just seems like the biggest trap ever. I almost want to mark it as unfair because jumps like that are just... Let me try. Yeah, I failed. Third try. Okay, yeah, like, I feel like that's a bad idea. It's just too mean, considering how blocky this game is.
Yeah, I've seen some other NES games do that, where it's just the perfect arc out of that space. It's the only way to live. It's just stupid. It's mean. Especially when they give you like a 1-up in there, and then it's like probably gonna die.
I will mark them bad for putting a dude right on the ladder like that. I'm not gonna be stingy with my points. They earned that. I do appreciate the dual path here, and you would think I'd give them a point for that, except we'll see that I'm not gonna do that right up here when you discover that one of the paths doesn't go anywhere. Actually, it's a dead end. It's a complete lie, which is absolutely brutal. It's not here, so I will give him points for that. It's above this, isn't it? So that is a good idea. Having 2 paths is cool. And then there's this. I don't like that this is hidden this way. You need to have Guts Man to get this, right? There's no other way. That sucks. And that item is required. That's extremely unfair garbage. That's 2.
I think I remember having to like farm for some energy just to like get that one time.
Yeah, that sucks. Okay, so here it is again, a splitting path again. It's very similar. and they let you keep going. They just let you keep on wandering up here. But then, for no reason at all, there it is. There's a freaking Guts Man block in the way. So if you come here without that power, you're just unfair garbage.
Yeah.
But not only that, even if I have it, I better have picked up the dang magnet beam. Like, just go to hell. Why did you do that?
That's super mean. That's like not even the slightest bit reward for like getting through other stages. It just means you don't get blocked off. That's it. You're just not punished. That's hard.
I think we've finished ranking Elec Man's stage as a pile of trash. It had a couple good ideas that were recycled. This guy at the end actually is a terrible idea. I hate him. What is he here for?
I hate all instances where they've got some dude who just camps out on the ladder.
Take this. Oh, you know what? I never ranked Bomb Man's weapon or Cuts Man. Bomb Man's weapon kind of stinks. It's really stupid and bad compared to just your regular buster. Cut Man's, on the other hand, is iconic and good. It's just a boomerang.
Yeah,
I think it grabs items, too. So, that's good and bad. Magnet Beam is also... Oh, Magnet Beam is great. I'm gonna give it a good idea for that. An original kind of idea, too. Oh. This area sucks ass. I'm not done denouncing this stage yet, actually. So this game, if you do die... Oh, let me die real quick, actually. You do have checkpoints, but if you completely wipe out, you're doing the whole stage again, and that's always been the case, and I hate it. I think that's so dumb. Only one of the games I can think of avoided this. It was 8. Are there any others? I want to get up there and Buster Duel this psychopath.
I can't remember.
I hesitate to give them a bad ideas point for that system, but they continue to do it. I feel like this first one shouldn't be blamed for that, but as the series goes on, I think past 2, I'm going to start blaming them for not ever changing that. Okay, here's this guy. He's outrageously hard to Buster Duel, like obscenely crazy hard. You cannot dodge any of this nonsense that he shoots, so you better... I'm gonna try and get this done. I just want to...
I forgot how brutal that was.
I hit him 3 times, knowing exactly how to fight him. That's my score, 3. Well, I got him 4 times. Contact damage does way less than his silly beam. This is the hardest Buster Duel in 11 Mega Man games, I think. But there might be a pattern to him that you can work out. I'm trying to find it. So, obviously, I don't like this boss. A single bit. Even if you're all plane above him, he can still hit you with that ridiculously wide electricity. You just really have to lock him up. I'm not even close. So... Humans can't beat this guy. You'd have to go through the whole stage over and over again to get the attempts I just made on him. That's an entire game over's worth of tries. You better pull out Cuts Man. You can make it even worse too, because if you do what you think and throw these at him, now you have less room to dodge and you can't jump over this. You can't. So without the blocks, you're in real trouble. Cuts Man is his weakness. I feel like he's unfair garbage. He's way too hard. To force us to use the weakness is stupid. Not good at all. He's really, really easy to kill with Cuts Man, though. He's so easy to kill that it's a bad idea. It's just lame. It's not a fight. It's not fun.
Yeah, what other games did that where it was just like super like it's unfair to the boss basically that you spend like almost no meter to kill them.
Iceman. I don't know. Okay, so Elec Man's weapon is ridiculously powerful, though. It's obscene as he is. It's crazy good. You have so much ammo for it. Literally 30 shots, right? 32 shots, maybe. It goes in 3 directions. It kills the crap out of everything. This stage has ice physics, which I'm always going to mark as a
boy.
bad idea. I hate it. In every game it's in, it sucks. It's not fun to take away controls the way they do. It's going to be really bad later, but it's just annoying here. It's just on for no reason. It makes the game slower. It just feels bad. This part is really boring. I don't like it.
This is just a repeating like section. That's it.
It's just a straightforward walking to the right. I appreciate the heal though. It's always nice, but I'm not gonna give him a point for that. Here comes the room everyone hates. Yoku blocks that aren't fair. Unfair garbage. Here it is.
Oh boy.
It's only unfair because there's that dude in the bottom, and you might not have the weapon to kill him. That's really why it's unfair. Otherwise, it's just a puzzle, and it's not like you're timed here, so it wouldn't be so bad. But because they decided that there should be an enemy in the room, they can go to hell. This room is even worse for unfair garbage. It's not just a bad idea, it's unfair here. Because there's so much jumping to do here. And then over here, they trick you. You gotta jump right there. And then up. And then you're clear. Here comes some unfair garbage that everyone hates. These things make no sense. They're random. They're the worst. They're so bad. And if you get shot, you're probably dead. You can't do anything about them. They suck. So we're skipping this, actually. This content is so bad, I don't want to do it.
That's always a bad sign when you have to use rush or something like that to get over a section. I mean, it kind of feels like, hooray, I defeated it with the things in my inventory, but it was just like, that section was worthless.
I feel like Elec Man stage is worse, but only because this stage is shorter. It's almost over already. Here's this guy. He is weak to things. I don't really like that he's here, and again, I feel like he just didn't jump high, so putting him here is dumb. There's no way to dodge him at all without height if he doesn't feel like jumping up. Iceman is a powerhouse of a Buster Duel. It's doable though, it's just precision. He's hard because he hits way too hard, and that's a bad idea for a boss to just hit like nuclear power. It's a lame fight. The pause trick is whatever, it's not intended, so I don't count it for anything really. So really, there's ice physics in the room. If you get hit 3 times, I think, you're dead here. And of course, you'll have to hit him 30 times if you don't have his weakness. I appreciate his ice skating animation.
It is a pretty cool skating animation.
It deserves some flair for that. I think flair and originality are going to go in the same place. So I'm going to give him originality points whenever flair shows up.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot of animations in these early games, and it's nice to see something.
No one else has that. I bet all the bosses have something like that, so, you know, that's a catch-all for all the unique animations they have. This is really hard, actually, to do just right. The falling part is very precise. The jumping, not so bad, but the falling... He is weak to electricity. It will demolish him. As quickly as he demolishes us. We can't take a death because we'll get that game over, which I do feel like is complete garbage. I hate doing whole stages again. That sucks. Let me make sure that's the case, but I'm pretty sure it is. Continue just takes you, yeah, to the beginning. That sucks ass. And it's gonna be, in this case, because I couldn't finish him off. I don't have his weapon. That stinks. He's just really bad. So every boss in this series is going to get a good or bad rating based on if I think they're good at all. And we're hit and miss so far because Bomb Man, Cut Man are good, Guts Man is okay. I don't feel like the other 3 are. So it's actually 50-50 on this game for me. These Cut Man, Bomb Man, and Guts Man I feel like are good fights. Guts Man is I'm on the fence about, but he's still reasonable and he's got some unique stuff about him.
Yeah. It's,
I'm gonna give him an originality point for him stunning us too. I forgot he did that because I didn't get stunned. That's neat. Fireman sucks for a lot of reasons. Point system is a great idea.
I mix up Fireman and Heatman stages sometimes, so I'm not sure what's coming up next.
I didn't give music for Elec Man or what's his face's songs, but Fireman, Iceman and Elec Man had pretty boring music, I thought. Elec Man and Iceman did, but this, I think some people might like what's his face's music, Elec Man's music, but this song kicks ass.
Yeah, I remember this one. I used to listen to a lot of OCR, or the Overclock remix stuff, and just had this stuff all the time in high school.
So we have some new weaponry here. Ice is literally just shoots forward. I think it just does more damage. That's a pretty lame power-up, but it's not a bad idea, is it? I mean, it freezes enemies, so it has effects beyond that.
Yeah.
Because it can freeze the fire, and you actually have to do that. I think that's really cool.
Yeah,
and
like
original.
that.
And you use it here, which is cool. So this so far has been a pretty good stage, and it's made even better by having ice, which I feel like is a pretty damn obvious thing to bring to fire.
Yeah. It's neat that it's kind of like this localized time stop move almost.
Can't freeze those. This is a very fair stage for the most part. You know what? I didn't even think about the palette swapping. That's an original cool idea.
Yeah.
That's flair.
They did a pretty good job overall of like utilizing the very limited color palette, especially with like trying to diversify all of the power-ups that you get while having the enemies on screen. Like keeping them all themed in the same color.
This is not an unfair area, even though it has instant death in it. I'm leaning towards calling that whole stretch good as well. This thing is a little too fast to be fair, but it doesn't kill you, so it can be done by walking. Let's see if I can do it on 3 tries.
Go, go, go.
I did it once. It's really tight. It's obscene. Okay, I did it. So you know what? Because it doesn't kill you, I think it's neat. It's just a little too fast. I wish it slowed down a little bit, but I'm still gonna mark it as good because it's damn close and it's neat.
Yeah, it adds some tension.
I'm gonna give it some flair points as well. Pop, pop, pop. Freezing this enemy instead of killing it stinks, but whatever. Can't get them all, I guess. Yeah, the damage on it is lower than getting shot by this beam, for example. That's pretty much the stage, yeah, so just all around one of the better stages in the game.
Yeah, I like it. It uses power-ups for something. It has interesting, like, varied just structure to the level.
Give it another point for
I think anytime the power-ups are used in meaningful or creative ways in the stage, it usually gives the stage a lot more focus and tends to be more fun.
Giving this boss a bad because he stinks. He just throws too much spam to be reasonably dodged. You can buster duel him and win, though, is the other bad thing about him. Like, look how much damage I did just by jumping wildly shooting. If I had full health, I could stand here and fire and win, and that's the worst thing possible for a video game to do, is to make a boss where you don't even have to play. And that's Fireman. Imagine if I had full health and just did what I just did instead of half. He would have died to that. Of course, his weakness will demolish him, and that's fine, but whatever. It doesn't erase him, but I mean, it's good enough.
Oh, that's interesting. It doesn't freeze his Hadoukens.
He's pretty bad. So here we have this idea of the game is split in half. Yeah, I don't like instant death. I don't like it ever. I don't feel like it's fair. But hits are a thing that are more fair than just spikes for no reason. And when you're talking about a platformer, it's close enough to fair that I'll roll with it. It's not like I'm jumping through precision spikes. Here comes Wily, yeah. This game looks like it has a pretty decent score so far. It's about to end. We're about to change that note.
It is kind of a cool reveal to have Dr. Wily in the middle like that, though.
Yeah, that's some originality. Flair points, for sure. 200,000 points, oh boy. And this animation gets some points. Just the whole intro, the castle coming up, it's all good shit.
Yeah, not many games had any cinematics at all, so
yeah.
That was kind of nice.
They introduced the castle next time, unfortunately. Whoa! The start can go to hell, like right away. I know what the start is and it sucks. They're gonna make us use the powers, or... if we don't use the powers, we can just eat shit, really. But the powers do work, so... it's just a really stupid set of enemies, like... this isn't interesting.
Yeah, this is just padding.
And that they respawn if you go off screen just sucks. This part, though, I do like. When they use powers like this, and they know we'll have them at this point, and there's no way we'll be empty on energy either, because we can't possibly have used Guts Man. Can't. Just absolutely can't. And then ice, we might be out, but you can get through here without ice, actually, if you want to. You don't have to use it. It's just really hard to do this jump.
That's, it's an interesting way they did that, because assuming that you had, like, the pattern down, and you kind of understood it right away, you would just kind of flow through that, but as soon as you screw up, it's just, yeah, you have to do that weird corner jump.
These jumpings are tough.
This whole game is tough.
You know, it's like...
Hey.
Hey.
We're about to... oh, there's some garbage. That's unfair garbage. We're about to hit the Yellow Devil, I think, and really get the points here.
Oh, yeah.
Start on the ladder. That's mean.
Yeah, like, they obviously didn't double check that very much, right? Like, what the hell do? You must have to switch to Elec Man real quick and mess them up. There's a lot of that.
It would be so bad if they didn't fall down the ladder, too.
Yeah.
Like, there's this, too, where you have to do this. If I want that energy, I've got a magnet here, and I can't even do that.
And then you have to, you have to Elec Man this, the blocks away.
You can Elec Man them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's news to me.
Essentially, that will be how you get, like, the magnet beam without using Gutsman power.
Oh, so you have to double back through the whole stage.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know, I mean, that's, I'm not going to give him any points for that, but I didn't know there was 2 ways to destroy that blocks, so that's neat, I guess. To destroy your Gutsman ammo. Good work.
It's like a nice convenience, but it's more of a slap in the face or a backhanded convenience.
God, this is unfair as hell. Double unfair.
Yep.
Here comes this.
The moment you enter the screen, you take damage. There's no way to dodge it.
I mean, I'm just talking about the random ass platformers who go up and down whenever they want over spikes.
Yep. Yeah. Just like, if they decide that they want to go upwards, and hey, good luck, not
This room
die.
sucks. Unfair garbage. You need magnet. You might run out because it's extremely picky. It's just not fair at all. I know exactly what to do. And I'm running out of magnet beam here.
Yeah, at least that's all that she wrote, because now you're at the greatest boss of the core series.
Triple unfair! 3 unfair. Here he comes. He's weak to electricity, but you wouldn't know that. So I'm not fighting him fair. Screw that garbage. This guy's nonsense.
Yeah, just like this fight goes on forever otherwise. And he's way too fast.
And his freaking weak point moves. I mean, here's the 3 reasons he gets triple unfair. He hits too hard, it takes forever, his weak point moves. There you go.
The high can spawn wherever it wants on the body.
What do you think's worse, this one or the one in Mighty Number 9?
I never played that.
I forgot Mighty Number 9 in this.
Yeah, I only remember that one because of Ty.
This one's not the worst devil in the series, though. If you got the pattern down, he's just boring.
Yeah.
He doesn't hit that
It's
hard.
a battle of endurance. That's the shitty thing.
Yeah, if you know his weakness, it's a fairly reasonable pace for you to him on enduring this fight, but the things he hits you with, the clay, if you get hit by them, you will not win. You don't have any E-tanks or anything in this game.
Nope.
So this is it. This is what you got. I gotta dodge the next bullet that he shoots or I'm dead.
Yeah.
A lot of games had these endurance, just these kind of awful sections.
Haha!
There we go. He died
Nice.
before you did. Perfect. Yeah, X5 had an awful devil indeed. And Mega Man 9 also had an awful devil.
I want to give him originality points because of the idea, and I think I do, but man, they never get it right. Mega Man 8, they finally did it right, but the idea is really cool, so I'll give them credit for trying, but man, it sucks ass.
Yeah.
Here's the stage. There's some unfair garbage for you.
Yep. Oh, there we go.
Like the Yoku blocks, you remember the yellow devil. It's
Let me see something. Can we stage select and go back to Wily?
Oh, if you stage select, I think you restart all of Wily. So
I'm finding out. I got rewind, so we're good. I'm just checking. Yeah, it looks like it. That's some unfair garbage. That's stupid. What if you don't have the magnet beam? You have to go back, but otherwise you wouldn't.
Yep.
And that's in stage 1, so you're not gonna do that for that, so...
Oh, also for a second I thought that you did not die, but... Oh, okay, no, you mean the number of times that Dr. Wily died.
Oh, I haven't been updating this. I just left that counter there. It's
Oh,
probably
okay.
in the... I'll just assume it's like 10. Like 10 legit. Here you go. There was a death there. I haven't really died that much here.
Yeah, Mega Man 1 has infinite continue. Every game of the series had that going
Yeah.
for.
None of them did that mean stuff. Wow! That's bad. If you get a pickup midair, you fall.
Huh.
I'm diving down this pit.
Yeah, get your lives back.
We'll start with 10 deaths. I'll just assume that's about right. I don't think it's... I think it's actually less than that, but we'll roll 10. Whatever. I didn't really have trouble anywhere. Can we get in the door now, please? Why are there spikes on the roof?
For pigeons.
To make the fortress look evil.
I think it's really cool that they're mixing the boss refights in this way. I don't really like the refights as a thing, but since there's weaknesses in the game,
yeah, but
good
hey,
idea.
guess what? For Cutsman, the weakness that you have is completely irrelevant because there's no block to throw at him.
Yeah,
so you
so-
still have to buster duel him.
So they're getting an originality idea for the idea of refights. They're getting a bad idea because Cutsman's fight is messed up.
Yeah.
But a good idea because they're mixing him into the fort. And I think that's
like-
I like just dropping in on Cutsman because it's just like, holy shit, what? There's a boss now?
Yeah.
What? Like,
it's especially good
If
because of that.
anything, I prefer this way of the refights than the one that they just like, we're gonna dump all of the bosses at you immediately.
Yeah, I wish they wouldn't have a pit in front of the
It's not-
weapon energies.
Yeah, it's-
Yeah.
But
Like Mega Man X also did that, and I think that was still like the best way in order to do it.
yeah, Mega Man X went halfway in on it, and then they put all 4 of the other ones in the last 3 stages. In the last
Yeah, but this
third.
game also does that as well. Just like this
Yeah.
level has the first 2
Oh, it sucks.
bosses, and then
Oh.
level 4 is gonna have
That's
all
bad.
the 4 other robot masters all in a row. Wait, are you back at the beginning?
I don't.
Oh my god.
Oh crap!
What is this shitty ass check?
That's unfair garbage.
that's mean.
They had the
Like, you
means.
killed 2 bosses, but no checkpoint.
Oh, I guess that's why there's energy on the floor. Because you're gonna need that cut man power. Let's have a cut man duel. Oh, never mind. Yeah, let's do it actually.
Yep.
This is an arcade pit challenge. It's tough.
Oh god. The
King of
cuts,
the Cutman.
yeah, the Cutsman is somehow worse than the Buster against him.
Oh my god, it's tough. Get out of here, Cutsman.
Yeah, that's because he takes only 1 damage per hit, as opposed to your Buster, which deals 2 damage. Like you're not gonna have enough energy.
You gotta hit him more than once on a pass. That's the ticket. I think our state has infinite Cutman energy to make this doable. He's winning though. Let me back up and let's bust through this sucker.
Yeah.
He's a pretty good boss though, all around. Because he dies quickly to the weapon that you start with, the basic gun.
Yeah. Yeah, and the boss himself is still, for the most part, it's pretty fair pattern and projectile dodging. It's like there's nothing really fancy here.
Yeah, his projectile traces back to him, so it's just a matter of like not rushing him down when he's when it's returning.
I don't really have any problem with this area. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They moved the freaking
With
pits.
Elec Beam, you can definitely, ease things up a bit.
I'm giving them a bad idea for moving the pit like jerks the second time. What a bunch of garbage. I didn't notice they did that the first time, but they totally did. They moved where the pit was. Oh, here's this crap. Oh, this is a bad section.
Yep. Return of Bomb Man.
Oh boy.
Yeah, just like compared to Bomb Man's level, there's no clear way in order to tell like where the exploding shrapnel will land, so yeah. Kind of shitty.
I appreciate the opportunity to get a 1-up.
And the best thing is that you're right next like to the checkpoint here.
Is this it?
Not yet, but I think it's the screen just below, or the other one. No, it's the one screen like just before the boss. Yeah. Yeah, the checkpoint is here, and by the way, because of the way that it spawns you, you have a high chance of taking damage upon spawning in.
I feel like that whole area is okay. I gave him a point for that. The last half of it.
You could get rid of the column of dudes on the wall like so easily. Just a freebie.
The boss that copies you is pretty good, so they get a flare point for that. Ow. Elec Man is the wrong power, so you're gonna immediately discover that. Petsman duel again, huh? No good.
Yeah, my favorite thing to do with him will be like to do a bomb duel.
Yeah, there's a lot of... I think they deserve 2 originality points for this boss. There's a lot of stuff
cool.
you can
And
do.
the only problem is that in overall it kind of doesn't play well because of all the sprite flickering that goes on, but yeah. Whenever I was saying that, the moment that you'll spawn in on this screen, you will take damage.
Yeah, that sucks.
Like, for some reason, that's a problem that X1 has a lot with its checkpoint, but hey, for their credit, Capcom never did the same mistake again.
How about a Buster duel with this guy? Seems easy as hell. Except for he hits harder than you.
Yeah, it's easy. Yeah, it's easy to a certain extent. It just eventually is gonna close the gap leading to you. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and I think Heist deals no damage. But of course, if he hits you with Heist...
What the fuck?
Oh, yep.
Eat bombs, jerk.
Yep. Alright, now you're fighting him the correct way.
He's really hard. I hate to give him unfair garbage
this boss
and
is
good idea.
difficult.
But he is,
Just, like,
he's
sits
too
on you
hard.
depending on the weapon.
It would have been better if he was just a reasonable boss fight.
Yeah, but I think a shitty thing with him is that he doesn't really have a good weakness. Oh yeah, use Gutsman's weapon.
The era of good bosses in this game ended with the first 3 that we did. None of the other bosses are really... Wily might actually be okay. Wily himself is not too bad.
Now Wily is not a good boss neither.
Get blown up, you jerk. Yeah, that sucked.
Yep, there we go. 2 damage for this whole bomb.
Monster damage.
Elec Beam does a fair amount of damage, but the problem is that, oh boy, he's sure going to hit you back.
Yeah.
You can lock him up pretty well, and you can make him jump and miss. I think Elect Beam is
There we
supposed to
go.
be the tactic.
Nice.
But they made it too wide. They screwed up on the projectile size. I think it's a very memorable thing, though, and that's why I gave him some flair for that. You won't forget that guy if
Yeah,
you beat him.
at least it's a pretty neat boss.
Yeah,
Could have worked better, but it's neat.
This is neat too, but it sucks. I'm gonna give it a bad idea. As a just implementation is bad, but the idea was a neat thing to try. This tunnel of water that throws you
Trouble
forward.
is kind of there.
Did you like spawn in like right on top, or those guys like spawn in right on top of you at the start of the stage?
Yeah, you literally have like half a second to jump out of the way before you get hit.
Yeah,
Ugh.
it's pretty unfair most of the way.
Again,
But it's not-
bad checkpointing.
And this is what I gave him a bad point for. It's just this. This is the entire stage.
Yeah, this part is just filler.
I think it's a neat thing to try to do. We're running fast. That could be cool, but no. All we do is this. With it. That's
Yeah.
all they did with it. And then they added these assholes to blow up in my face.
Which force you to slow down because otherwise you shoot them and then you run into the explosion and you take damage. Unless that you just jump over them this way. So for some reason the textures here don't quite align right.
So they want us to use Gutsman blocks on this boss. If we don't, we probably will die with our HP current. But man,
Yeah, it's better that you take a death here.
I
Because
can-
if you use the Gutsman blocks and you lose, whenever you come back to the arena, the blocks will know. Oh fuck, game over.
yep.
Yeah.
The implementation's
yeah,
bad.
Do that.
Let me rewind. I can beat him with that health. I just have to not take damage until the last 4 of him.
It's definitely a stage where you just kind of do it perfectly, and that's the only way to beat the boss.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, for its credits, it's an easy stage, especially if you just use Elec Beam through all of it, but...
And you should, because they refill your ammo, don't they? No, they don't. Never mind. I was gonna give them a point for that, but they don't do that yet. That's a...
Nah, they will only refill it whenever you'll have a game over. At this point, I just say game over and go to the
You
stage.
can Gutsman now. Gutsman eliminates a couple of these. You will take damage if you use them early, but
Oh, hey, speaking of taking damage early.
you'll take damage if you use them early on the last parts because I don't think you can do them without taking damage then.
No, because the moment that the blocks are out, you cannot avoid the boss anymore. You need the blocks in order to dodge him.
Ugh.
We're gonna take a death here in Wily's Castle.
Yep, this is the final level.
We're already here, not too bad. This part's fine, except for that.
Yep.
He's
It's
coming
not
at
cool at all.
Can we make this jump? Well, maybe somebody could.
I mean, you could do it with Magnet Beam.
I'm gonna try and do it like a Mega Man. Yeah!
He's a Mega Man! Mega Man! Oh no, no! Another question is, do we have lives yet?
So, like,
Oh, fuck.
why is this here? This is stupid. Why is it here anyway? But also, what if you don't have Elec Man or Gutsman ready to go?
Well, it's time for you to die and restore everything.
That's bad. It's not really unfair. I like the Gutsmans up there.
Yeah, that is kind of cool. You don't normally get to see just stuff like that. It's just kind of really plain walls.
Yeah.
Here's a terrible,
Gutsman
unfair
of-
garbage idea. Bring this back.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as before, but it's still stupid. Also, it's taking forever.
Yep. Because that thing is just stretched.
Make it. It's a tough jump. Well, let me get back there.
Yeah, the checkpoint is only whenever you get to the refights.
Yep. Oh boy.
Oh.
Buggy.
Yeah, this part's fine.
It would be. That's 3 deaths for my counter. That's an entire game over's worth. Because I didn't feel like killing that enemy.
Yeah, it's just that's like one of the things again that this game does, which is kind of shitty, and it's the fact that whenever you hit spikes in this game, doesn't matter if you have invulnerability frames or not, you will die.
Yep. This is all the bad elements of each of the stages in a row. Elec Man and Guts Man together. The worst parts of them. So, yeah, this last section sucks. I hate waiting for this thing.
Yeah, just use Magnet Beam.
Pretty neat little thing down there, if you can get it. And it's not... I always have as a kid. I've never failed at this point to get this. The extra life and the full energy on everything thing. And that's cool and original.
Yep.
Yeah.
To give me that.
And it's respawns.
But here's boss fights. This sucks. This is a bad idea.
It's boss rush time. And compared to Mega Man 2 and beyond, these guys don't give health upon being defeated.
Yep. Throwing them all together like this is bad. That they don't give you health is unfair. I'm gonna give them 2 unfair points for this mess because this is the last real challenge in the game.
Yeah.
These 3 idiots in a row.
It's like Ballman, he's really easy. Fireman, he's a complete crapshoot and kind of an unfair shitty boss.
Yeah, you're gonna take a couple hits on him. Like I did really well there. To only take 2.
Yeah.
And then you got Iceman up the road, who's a real jerk.
Yeah, but he's still better than I am. He's still better than Iceman.
If you don't know his weakness, if you managed to beat him the first time, he hits really hard. And then we have...
that's the... Yeah, Gutsman, aka the worst of the refights here, because you don't have like these little blocks in order to allow you to dodge things better. And now, my god, Gutsman was an absolute jerk this whole fight.
I was gonna say, I know how to do him without taking damage, but I didn't pull it off. I was doing pretty well for the 1 hit I had.
Yeah, if anything, I think Gutsman is 3 hits with the bombs.
Yeah, he's not an unfair boss. He's just really hard.
Yeah, he's really hard because the arena is just not really well built with him in mind.
Without the rocks there, it's much harder to dodge a shot, but it's still doable. Thanks for the damage, Fireman.
Yeah, it's like this boss sucks. It's just unfair random garbage. Like, as difficult as Iceman is, at the very least, you know, it's like the projectiles are dodgeable and everything, but Fireman, forget about it. You cannot dodge anything.
I think they probably, like, if you could freeze his flames, then that would have been a better fight, but maybe they couldn't do it or forgot.
Ah, thank God we did it.
We're
now,
through.
Please tell me we still have a life. Okay, we still have 2 lives. Perfect.
This is insulting that this is what I get, so... like, bad
Yeah, you don't
and
even
unfair.
get health back.
It's
I
worthless.
saved you a piece of cake, Mega Man, but I took a bite out of it.
Wily's machine.
Yep.
Get some flare points. It's extremely weak to fire. I guessed right on it. That's just luck.
Yeah, yeah, first phase is weak to fire.
I don't ever remember that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'd say the big trouble with the Wily fights in there is that, my god, they could not figure out like how to do the sprite flickering thing part properly.
Yeah.
Like the whole boss and its projectiles flicker out of existence, so it's really hard to dodge anything.
Oh. I think this is an okay boss. Phase 1 anyway.
I mean,
Yeah, for the most part, even if you cannot see the projectiles, at least they're predictable as all hell, so...
Yeah. Like, the projectile, I like that the parabola changes for the projectiles and just kind of, like, lazily tracks you. It adds a little bit of a challenge, and it's predictable.
This part's weak to electricity, right?
Well, I don't know if it's weak against electricity, but hey, it's incredibly abusable, like with the select glitch.
Well, it's easy to hit him with it.
Yeah, as well.
Let me find out what he's weak to, because he's obviously going to lose to me. It's not electricity. It hits him twice, though. I bet it's Cut Man.
Yep.
Nope. Wonder if he has any weakness at all.
Yeah, Cutsman also hits him twice.
3 times there. Well, I think that was a good 2 phases, actually. I liked it. I'm gonna give him 2 points.
And here's to the only Wily fight in the whole series, which is only 2 phases.
Ooh.
So there's my scores for the first game. Wait.
24 originality, 27 good ideas, 29 bad, 5 slapping songs, and 28 unfair garbage.
Was any of Wily's
right.
music a slapper? I didn't really pay attention to it.
I mean, the first music is the music for level 1 and 2 is pretty nice, I'd say.
They kept the credits music for a lot of the classics games.
This is a slapper, yeah.
Yeah, I mean the credits music of this, or at least the intro, was pretty much used as the intro to Mega Man 2's music.
This ending is originality and flair.
Yep. Fight Mega Man for an everlasting peace.
I like the art. I want to give him another point for the flair on this. This is really well done.
I mean,
credits.
for the time, it's a pretty alright ending.
Yeah.
I can dig it.
Remember, this is 1987.
I mean, no, this is cool. I mean, going into, like, silhouette of the sunset.
Yep.
You want to do Mega Man 2 Eyeball?
Ah, why not?
I'll run through it on hard mode. I'm gonna reset those scores.
Died 19 times. Damn. Yep, overall very rough, but some undeniably good ideas. Yeah, that sounds about right for one. It's a game that unfortunately did not age very well at all, but you can't deny that the good stuff that it did, it was an alright foundation part for what will follow afterwards.
Okay. Yeah, I really like Mega Man 1 more than I should. So I probably gave it more mercy than I should have, but I'm trying to be impartial on these ratings. Let me take a picture of
They
that
did a pretty
score.
good job with it.
I don't know, I wouldn't say that Mega Man 2 on hard is pretty breezy. The Wily Fortress is definitely a nasty bit of game work, I'd say.
Oh, we have some new shit already. So hold on a second. Corinthians made this for me, and it looks like it might be what we looked for. I asked him about making this. I need to change the font on things real quick, but we'll use this on the next one here.
Yeah, I mean, you could just put like a white background for the active score thing so that then the font will work.
Yeah. That's the ticket. Let me hide all that. I'll go ahead and load Mega Man 2 also, so we have some music bumping here. While I do that.
Oh, also, I hope that you're gonna do the X series next this way after all, because oh my god,
Probably.
I,
I really don't like the X series. I
like
speedrun.
I will totally be up to watching you suffer in X6.
I mean, I do X1 and 2 in a speedrun capacity, X2 especially, and then, oh boy, I hate the rest. Like, whoa, man, they all are bad. I don't like a single one of them. Not really.
X3 was pretty meh. All in all, it was like it felt really empty and soulless, I'd say. X4, I really liked it a whole bunch. To me, it was like it definitely was a bounce back into quality land.
Yeah.
Then
liked
X5 was where the problems began. And then by X6, it like the series became a huge car crash. Oh, a fairness meter, perfect.
Oh, that's unfairness.
Or you see, it's fairness. It starts at 32 and it goes down and down.
It goes down fast.
Yeah, let me mess with this and see.
Like the moment it reaches 0, I'm sorry, the game dies.
Let me tell him. We might use. I'll just use this next time. Because I do have some changes to make before I really want to use that. But it's what it's going to look like in the future. It's neat. Let's just go ahead and get started here. So I'm going to use the same stuff I just used.
But I can already suggest one change that will already infinitely enhance X5 a whole bunch. And it is to remove Elio from the game.
Okay, we're gonna reset the scores on these. Look at that intro. Mega Man 2. The review time.
You've already got a slap.
1988 and 1989 at this point. I'm just not sure. It came out in 88 or 89?
Amazing intro. Give me that flare points and slapper song for that. It's the same one from the ending of Mega Man 1 with a spin on it. It's really good.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I think they deserve 2 points for this intro. It's really good. It's iconic.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
like if you were telling people like what is Mega Man, this is probably will be like one of the things that they mention. Oh, that rooftop scene or the Wily 1 music.
Good idea. Difficulty settings.
Yep.
All around.
Yeah.
There's no problem with that. That just kicks ass. I don't care how well it was implemented. Just the attempt was made, and it's pretty well done actually.
Difficult was the way the game was made in Japan, and then for American audiences, they had it a normal difficulty in order to tone the difficulty down.
Adding passwords and passwords in general are a good idea.
Yeah.
It's not a bad password system either. You just type in a crit. It's a little weird.
Yeah, this isn't bad.
Yeah.
This is a timeline. Or go ahead.
Yeah, it's easy enough to type in password. Oh no, password error. Oh.
Adding 2 more bosses was a good and original idea.
Yeah.
I also remember, like, at the time, I had a lot of grid paper, like, just from drawing and schoolwork and so on, so I'd always have something for passwords.
I like these, the boss intro and this menu music, once again, are slappers. That's almost always going to be the case for me, though. I really like the music stings in these games.
MM2 is like, to me, it's probably the game that had, in overall, the best music of the series.
Once again, I feel like the problem here with this game series is this is overwhelming to look at as a new player. It's just, here's 8 guys. Where do you even begin?
Yeah.
I feel like there's wrong choices. Airman,
yeah,
I feel like
there is definitely wrong choices in this one game.
Yeah,
like at the very least, like see 2 or maybe even 3 wrong choices.
Mega Man 1 had the same thing, and I hesitated to call it a bad idea. It's just the way it's designed. It is something I'm on the fence about enough. I'm just not going to give a point for it. It's just an open game, you know, that's just the way it's designed. But if you go to Airman first, I think you're going to have a bad day. And
Airman can be done pretty well first.
I think Quickman is especially dangerous on difficult.
Yeah, it's like the ones that I will not suggest to do early. I'd say Quickman, Eatman, and to some extent Crashman, but that's only because the stage sucks.
We'll do Metal Man. That's the correct choice. Look at this
I always
intro.
thought
There's some
Metal Man was
flair.
a doctor. He's got that the reflector, the really classic thing.
Really nice looking background. Get some flair for me.
Yeah, the
Treadmills.
backgrounds definitely were a huge improvement.
E-tanks exist and they give you one for free. That's amazing.
That's really good.
I like the stage design on these treadmills, so I'm giving 1 point for that. This point's going up and left. This is pretty cool, except the chains hit you? No, they don't. I thought they did.
Wait, yeah, I thought that they did.
They don't look like they do.
Oh, you get hurt on the top side of it.
Oh.
Oh yeah, the top of the chain hurts you.
Only the
I
top
do think
one?
it's.
Well, I feel like
think
that's stupid. In any case, and I can't even figure out how it works. What do you mean, the top
Yeah.
I do like that since you're on the treadmill, you can watch it and you don't just like rush into it.
Playing the NES, difficult version of this game. Not a port or anything.
Yeah, all in all, I've never been a big fan of how this level starts. It's just, these chains just slow the entire thing down to a crawl.
Yeah, I think they're bad. I don't think they should be here. I don't like these either, really. They have too much HP. Are they this strong on normal?
No, I think on normal they take about half the damage that they're taking now.
That's a little better.
They go down in like 3 hits.
I'll ignore
instead of
them.
like 5 or 6.
I'm neutral on those. I don't think they're great. If they were cut, I wouldn't care.
Corridors.
Okay, in a later level, they're definitely welcome because then you might need them in order to farm for weapon energy.
I just looked it up, and Castlevania 1 came out 2 years before this one, and it had chains you could jump through. Like, I'm pretty sure it had the same kind of situation.
This guy
but
rules.
You were safe to jump over.
I'm not sure if you were allowed to go above the chains into the thing. Like, I know what you're talking about, like the crushers from Castlevania 1, but yeah, just like, to me that was a thing that I always hated in the original game.
It's one of those things where it's like fuzzy memories of childhood, and then actually going back and seeing what was true.
I like Barrel Man as well, but he does hit hard. Difficulty settings being what they are is gonna mess with it. I feel like there's not a middle ground. It's either too easy or too hard on the difficulty. Things just hit for a million damage or none.
Yeah, because on normal, that enemy doesn't do that at all.
I feel like he's fine though. This enemy's fine too.
Yeah, the slinky demons.
Give him some originality flair for that dude.
There's always a variation on that thing sliding around the ground that you can't kill.
Yep. Every Mega Man game had one of these.
The boss pipe just being a checkpoint is a good and original idea instead of a shitty extension of the stage.
Yep.
Here's Metal Man. He's a fine fight. He actually reacts to you, and you might not figure that out, but if you shoot, he jumps. And that's how this is done. The treadmill changes things too, and I feel like it's done reasonably. They don't overdo
he's doing
it.
that essentially to try and lure you to him, and if you get too close, then he will switch sides with you and throw a saw blade in your way by doing so.
Yep, he gets a point for being fine.
Just jump.
Okay, this is a boss that definitely punishes you for mashing buttons, because then he's always gonna keep jumping up and down, relentlessly throwing saw blade after saw blade.
Ooh.
But hey, when you take your time like this, pretty chill boss. And then you get the most overpowered weapon of all Mega Man history.
What's weak to Metal Man? Everything.
Obviously, we're giving Metal Man's weapon a good mark because it's just crazy good. You can throw it in any direction you want.
And it's got a shitload of energy.
I feel like there's a jump in there in his stage that I don't like. It's the one on the end, right before his fight, and I'm giving him a bad mark for that. I did it without thinking about it.
And then there's the energy tank that is there in order to lure you into going down, that could potentially take you down. With that said, however, the dialogue taking forever. I probably will put like a bad point for that. However, the get equipped with metal blade.
It's alright. I really like the weapon get screen, so I gave him a point for flair.
Yeah, but I don't know. This is the one that I wish I could skip.
I
like the design of the bats because it makes you think that they're just going to be bombs that drop and they just turn into bats. They look like bomb manpower.
This mini boss is a new cool idea. This mini boss thing. He's good looking.
They had a few variations of that.
And they were called hot dogs.
He's completely dodgeable. I just suck, so. He doesn't even hit that hard anyway. Whatever.
Yep.
3 in a row is a bit much, but whatever. Whatever.
I mean, they're not too hard anyway. And this one can be cheesed to hell anyway, so hey.
That's a good point. The enemies all have a common theme instead of just being things. Like, per stage, I mean.
Yeah, it's like this level has a pretty good aesthetic. All the enemies fit the theme really well. All in all, a pretty good level.
There's a nice change in scenery here. I mean, going up a tree trunk, or going up the trunk of a tree, and then...
That dude rules.
An evil gorilla!
Evil gorillas await you.
The bird punishing you with the eggs also kicks ass. It's unique and good. And they drop power-ups too, so it's not even that big of a punishment.
It's like, the birds can be really bad, but then you can shoot a whole bunch of these and they'll drop either a shitload of lives or a whole lot of energy, so...
Yeah.
In a way, I'd say it's risk versus reward.
And they're not, like, actively homing in on you, they're just trying to follow their mom.
Well, it's not even like they're tracking you, it's just like, I think, whenever they leave the egg, they home in toward you, but that's the only time that they ever have any kind of directional push applied to them, so...
Yeah.
Oh, Metal Man had good music, right? I didn't even think about it. I always forget to rate the meeting.
Yeah.
I don't like Woodman's song enough to call it a slapper, but Metal Man's I do.
Oh yeah, Metal Man is definitely classic. Woodman probably is one of the least interesting songs of the OST, but hey, they can't all be perfect.
The bunny rabbit throwing carrots is gonna get some flair. This rooster can go to hell.
Oh yeah, these enemies, however, are pretty mean.
He gets flair, but he also gets bad from just being garbage. He just has too much health.
Yeah, these things are just unkillable, just like...
He's immune to Metal Blade!
Yep. It's like, essentially the only good way to deal with them is just to wait for them to jump and then go underneath them while they're in the air.
I'm really enjoying just the flow of levels and how scenery changes, and it's more of an environment than it is just like a level.
Ooh, preemptive gorilla kill. But yeah, the power of birds.
I wasn't using Metal Blade much because I'm more interested in checking out what the stage is supposed to be like than crushing it with Metal Blade. But Metal Blade is so good, I probably should give it another point. I think it's too good. There's a point where a weapon shouldn't be infinite use and omnidirectional. It's all of those things, so it's really hard to compete with that.
Yeah, suffice to say that it is the first and the only game where it did that.
Oh no. Oh jeez. Yeah, these enemies are stupid.
Yeah, you gotta go underneath them. It's like, forget about trying to jump over them. Just walk a little bit away, then dash in when they jump.
Woodman's an alright fight. I just suck at it. I know his weakness is Metal Blade, but I'll try and beat him with a Buster.
Personally, this was one of the bosses I never really liked that much. It just seems like the jumps that you have to do in order to avoid the leaves is like almost pixel perfect, and then there's a time whenever he closes in on you that much afterward, you can't really do anything anymore.
Yeah, you're right. He is bad. After I start the fight, I realize I don't enjoy the fight.
In Mega Man 1, could you do the flying jump through a door, like through the boss door?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I just couldn't remember if it was in there or
And
not.
then in Mega Man 6, which is the game I probably hate the most, but I still defend it for this one thing, you can punch through doors.
What are Woodman's other weaknesses?
He's weak against atomic fire.
We're giving him a good point for being weak to 2 things, but a bad point for being a shitty boss.
Yeah, this boss is not the best.
His weaknesses are obvious too. This screen
he's
is
weak against saw blades and weak against fire, so it totally makes sense.
The natural enemies of trees.
Alright, leaf shield.
There's this guy. Spinning fan.
Yep, hair man.
I have a flare point.
Will rev up.
I hate this thing. I hate these so much that I'm marking them as bad. It's because they start with their springs out.
Yeah, sadly you can't really rush your way through these, because if you do, then you will get impaled.
Yep, I don't hate them, I just think they're done wrong.
Yeah. I mean, at least they look cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do deserve some flair. I give a flair for everything cool looking. Thunderbolt Man on the cloud. I don't like this part at all. It takes forever, so original but bad as well. So there's 2 in a row that are original and bad in the Airman stage. Hiding behind the clouds is neat. It's not detrimental that much, so I'm not gonna mark it as bad.
Yeah.
Nothing's really going on.
It's like this part, yeah, this part of the level is just, it's inoffensive. Personally, I just like it because it's chill.
Get me over there already. Is the birds back?
Yep.
We already talked about them.
Yeah, I mean, it totally makes sense here, but that said, oh boy, stealth bird!
Yeah, that's
whatever.
not cool where they're hiding in the clouds like that.
Are there any... I mean, I don't mind it because it's not that big a deal and they heal you, so these things are neat too, but is there any way to die here, really? It's no spikes or anything, right?
Not really. I think the screen essentially just is supposed like to be like the transition screen to this one, where the checkpoint is placed.
I think it's okay and good, that whole area.
There we go. I think it's the end of Heretic Keys. Yeah. Now it's Big Fan Man.
Big Fan Man kicks ass. He's harmless though. He's fine.
Yeah.
He's just there for fun.
Yeah,
He's even harmless here.
Jump here whenever you realize that there's a way in order to unspawn him from the screen and make it so that you don't even have to fight him.
But
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened here. You unspawn the enemy by accident.
Airman's a strange, awful thing. Without Slide, I don't feel like he's fair.
Yeah, this boss is strange.
Why is
Hey,
wind
he's
blocking my
doable.
pellets?
But hey, he's doable without without weaknesses, because Buster deals double damage against him.
Yep. He's doable, but that doesn't mean he's good.
Yeah, it's
This
just...
is Iceman too.
Yep. Sometimes the hair projectiles are positioned in such a way that you can't really dodge his stuff at all.
Hey, get.
Oh,
Personally, however, I
er-
still think it's a much more fairer fight than Woodman.
yeah.
Where Woodman is a fight against time and all of this, at least Hairman has mostly a pattern.
We got an original and good idea here in the form of items. Beyond
Yep.
the magnet beam, we have real items that are great.
Yep, it's the birth of the rush adapter, but without the rush part.
Woodman's weapon Good or bad?
I mean, it's the birth of the whole shield concept. It's not the best shield, I'd say, because of the whole you can throw it away kind of thing.
I think all three of the weapons we have are good.
Yeah, Windman, you have a basic shield. Metal Man kills the fuck out of everything. And Hairman is especially good for dealing with the huge jumping robots.
This is a good shield. You can throw it upwards. I like it. It's a good weapon. It's just expensive. Like, radically expensive.
The only drawback from it is that, of course, it uses a shitload of power.
How about this song? Slapper?
Yeah, what was Airman's? I didn't pay attention to it.
Airman's weakness?
No, his song. Yeah, that song rules.
Yeah.
I think there's 2 slappers awards. I feel like I'm gonna give him a bad idea for making the weapon's energy so ridiculously random. Like, Woodman uses a ton. Airman and Metal Man don't use any at all for what they do. Like, just, I can shoot this all freaking day, comparatively. And that's just... why? Why is Woodman considered so expensive for no reason? That's dumb.
Yeah, but the fun thing is that... the fun thing with Windman is that, hey, at the very least, you can just keep one shield going, and as long as you don't move, it just keeps doing its work. So, for these situations, for instance, you could just stay over there and have a barrier that permanently protects you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good weapon. It's just randomly expensive for no reason. No good reason. You can't move with it on either. It's not like you can run with it like you can usually do with shield weapons.
But yeah, other shield weapons that will come out into later games will be a whole lot better.
What do you think of this area?
Even though I don't like 7 at all, I have to say, however, it did have a really good shield going for it.
I think this is kind of a time waster. Because, like, if you have the shield, it's trivial. If you don't, then it's just kind of annoying, and it's still a time waster.
Yeah, I think it's still bad. Kind of easy.
I think it's double bad. I think it's annoying. Like, worst thing that happens is they waste your time.
Crashman is probably the worst level of the game in terms, like, of overall design, I'd say. It's made to be tedious and kind of boring.
Look at this.
Yeah, this climb is just what?
Here's a single mat on a platform. If he gets you fall.
He's kind of on a dig bag place.
Yep, that's bad too. There's 2 ladders.
Yep. One of them might lead you at where you want to be, the other might not.
Here's some birds that if you come here without power, you're just screwed. Like, you're just screwed.
You just have to tank the birds, otherwise you're screwed.
It's dumb.
Yep.
Even with Airman, I can't get away.
Yeah,
I use metal blades.
I'd say the better ways to deal with the birds is either metal or even then flash stopper, I'd say, or time stopper.
They're getting another bad point for not knocking it off. These ladders suck ass.
Yep.
And then there's this, but it's an E-tank, so it's okay. I'll give him a break on... Yep. That's not bad.
But if you don't have an item, then hey, you have to climb all the way back down and reclimb from the beginning, you nerd.
Yeah. Not a lot of unfair garbage yet. Not really anything that I considered completely out.
This level is not unfair. It's just bad.
The whole game so far hasn't really been anything completely unfair. Just one hard jump, not unfair.
It would be a good Mega Man 1 level, but it's just kind of bland compared to all the others.
That said, this boss is hard to bust into it. Like, if you can do it, then kudos.
Hard's one thing. But I do think it's doable. Yeah, no Elec Man.
Yeah, it's just that, hey, this boss is kind of just like he works under the same principle than Metal Man. Like, he will only jump and attack whenever you attack.
I think he's a fine boss. He's on the hard side, but he's still doable.
Yeah, he's hard, but I'd say mostly fair.
I like that you can always just kind of tell, like, his projectile, like, it just gets stuck in the ground and that's about it. Like, it's not anything that really tracks you. The explosion is shitty to probably avoid if you get, like, you know, if he's too busy around you.
Anything, the only thing I might want to knock him some points for is that with his weakness, the boss is just way too easy. It's like, even on difficult, air shooter will kill him in 3 hits.
Ah!
Ah, so close. 1 shot away.
I'm back! Mega Man of Persia.
Yep, there we go.
Originality for the bomb style.
Yeah, at least the boss is nice. That's like the redeemable part of this level.
I think Crashman's stage has a lot going on with its enemies, though, like in the theme.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what the overall theme is, apart from climbing all the way up to Fuck Mountain.
This level sucks.
It would have been cool for more explosions, like bomb enemies or something like that. But
oh, that's gross looking.
The stage worse. Oh,
bad idea.
My eyes.
Yep, welcome to the original bitrate ruining level.
It looks terrible. It just looks awful.
Yeah, I think the problem with the background is that I'd say it's a little too bright. If
like
they made it darker, probably wouldn't be as big of an issue. But at least it doesn't last for too long.
Yeah. I think this was one of those cases where, you know, they kind of wanted to show off and say, look at all the animation on the NES.
Yeah.
That
then I
on the
guess you kind of have to factor as well on the fact that TVs were darker back in the time as well.
I like the smell enemy, and I like the way the water looks underwater, the sprays. I don't like that this stage is full of bombs, but you know, whatever. I like this fish mini boss too, he's fine. He hits way too hard if you run into him, but you shouldn't necessarily do that.
Yeah, I mean, he's stationary, so if you hit him, it's your own fault.
I think that's good. I don't have a problem with the spikes yet because we're not having to deal with them, but now we are, and I don't like this kind of garbage, just fine-tuned. The hitbox is enormous on them, and you have to do these careful jumps.
Yeah.
It's not unfair, but it's stupid. These enemies look neat.
Yeah, but I just feel like they kind of go nowhere, just like they're kind of there. In the end, you're more concerned with dodging the spikes than you are trying to deal with the new enemy that they're bringing in.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the enemy itself doesn't have anything interesting going on, and it shouldn't, given everything going on in the environment.
Now it's time for low-gravity frogs, because we're underwater.
Money!
Jesus Christ. They call me the frog murderer.
Here comes crabs.
You're killing your brand here, Smite. Yeah, this part can be kinda nasty because of how random the crabs can be, and generally if you get hit by a crab, you'll likely dive into a pit.
Bubble Man is extremely weak. He's got spikes in the arena. That's bad. I don't like that ever. As a boss, what does he do? Does he shoot when you shoot, or does he just shoot? He just shoots when
he shoots all of the time. He does whatever he wants. He's got his own thing going.
He's very simple. Even if he hits you, he doesn't hit hard enough to be a threat.
Yeah. Like, I remember back in the time, like, Nintendo Power had that guide where they would post a shitload of passwords for a whole lot of games, and for some unknown reason, they will recommend doing Bubble Man first, and I don't know, in retrospect, I don't really understand why.
I think he's bad because he's boring, and you can't really lose this guy. He's too easy. Not exciting at all.
One thing visually I like is that they put a darker, like the grid pattern on the wall, they had a darker tile underneath the spike to kind of give it a bit of depth.
Yeah, but it's just the overall order that the Nintendo Power suggested to do this game will be like Bubble Man first, then Flash Man, then Quick Man, and Metal Man only 4th. It's like, I'm sorry, but why doing Metal Man 4th? I'm sorry, but that is bad.
It's a slapper. What's Bubble Lead like? Stupid? Oh, it goes along the ground. That's okay. I can see a use for that. That's a good weapon. And Crash Bombs is a good weapon too. It has uses beyond just being a big bomb. Does it do good damage to things, usually? Oh, it's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit.
It's killing these in 1 hit.
That's a very expensive weapon, but I feel like that one actually has a right to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's a freaking bomb. It should be strong.
Oh, this stage is pretty stupid the way it's just instant death with dudes flying above you. I don't really like...
I don't really have much issue with the first half of this level for the most part. Because, hey, okay, there's insta-death everywhere, but at least all the enemies are slow and really predictable.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you get clipped the wrong way, you're gonna die, but otherwise you're fine. These Yoku blocks are done well. I'll give them a point for this.
Yeah. Like, compared to Heist Man, this is way more sensible.
It's pretty much the same thing.
We're only gonna have 4 blocks on the screen in total.
The big difference here that makes it not unfair, garbage like Iceman, is this guy is not a threat. He's just hanging out off screen here. Here's where some real garbage happens, though. I think we're finally gonna get our first
half. Now it's time to, it's time for the blocks to have more chances to dick you over.
They'll just get stuck here for a while, but I like the walls being there, and I think that's cool.
Crash Bomb, then you can ease up the process a little bit.
Yeah.
Especially for this one, which is a little bit trickier because of the harsher timing on the block.
I feel like this one over here, the last one, is the only threatening one. I don't really hate that stuff. It wasn't that dangerous.
Alright, so now, we have unfair garbage at 0, but this is where the things are gonna change.
Oh yeah, this is that long stretch over the lava pit, right?
Yeah, the big problem here is that the blocks, I think, they operate based on how far you are in on the screen and not, well, you know, on an actual time unit, so therefore this area is just complete unpredictable garbage. And of course, it's really mean to make you do these blind jumps as well, these jumps over the existing block that you're in. It's like, okay, right now it's okay, but you can be sure that, hey, now they're going to start the block. Yeah, like this. There we go. All right.
I knew it was coming.
1 point in unfair garbage. Here we go.
Yeah, I gave him 3 for this nonsense. I think it's terrible.
Sucks.
It's just completely unfair.
Yeah, it's like, if everything at least worked onto a strict timing thing, it would be better, but because of the way that Yoku block section was coded, it's unfair. It's just, I've never been able to do this part the legitimate way. I always use item number 2 to do it.
That's an option. I mean, did I give him credit for, oh, they didn't give me a second one yet. Never mind. I thought they did.
Oh yeah, that's right. But that said, one thing that we can definitely put in the bad ideas list. If you game over, you lose your E-tanks.
Oh.
Oh.
What? That's shitty. That's unfair. Alright, actually. I'm taking it a step further. They gave me this great thing, but I didn't. Save while it continues. We're gonna crash bomb our way through this time.
I don't think we need Crash Bomb or anywhere else in this level.
I've never really been a fan of blocks that appear like right above you. You have to get like that perfect timing or do a weird kind of angle out jump.
Yeah, it sucks.
And yet every game does it. I don't know why this was remained to stay that way.
I played a lot of Kid Chameleon as a kid because it was the only thing I had on my Genesis, and there was tons of that. Fucking hated it so much.
Oh howdy. They're trying to scam me with these weird blocks.
Yeah, just like they spawn a block above you here, and I just get the feeling that they want you to jump for that block which is far away, and then you bonk your head on the block which just spawn above you, and hey, goodbye. Oh. And hey, you totally got pushed into the pit. Hell yeah.
Well, we'll just take it from here because, boy howdy, that's crazy.
Yeah, this part is just awful.
Thanks.
Oh fuck. This could also be bad.
I can't get through. Another death is earned. It's got to be up here. Maybe this will work.
Okay, there we go.
The trap extra life is I marked bad because that's stupid. This guy in this tiny little room that has no business being here is dumb. I have his weakness though.
At least now you have the tools.
Oh my god, he didn't die. Whatever, I'm leaving.
Just get out of there.
Yeah, you still managed to dodge him though, so good job.
Yep. House Heat Man is a boss. He's fine. Now this is Mega Man 2 at this point. We moved on. I need to update my title. Heatman. What's so bad about this boss fight?
Yeah. The thing that I don't like with this boss is that, boy, it goes at a snail pace because of the whole... You can only hit him once every couple of periods of time because of the whole, oh, I become fiery and invincible.
Yeah, he's pretty
And
lame.
also he hits like a truck.
I'm gonna mark him as bad. It's either yes or no on these bosses, I think, and he's not. He has a Zippo lighter though, I don't know if you noticed, so...
Yeah, he looks adorable, but as a boss, however, he's not true. Oh my god, what the hell was that dodge?
You wanna stop being fire, you jerk?
Never.
It's hard to sync up when I'm supposed to do anything.
Yeah, the time that he stays on fire is completely random. I don't know.
Yeah, I noticed that. He was, like, on fire for way too long at the start. One hit dodge.
I'm gonna give him another bad because it's just they needed an upper limit on this iframe shit.
Yeah. I mean, at the very least, the Buster deals double damage.
Did Heatman have a pattern where you get just far enough away and he won't spawn his little columns of fire?
Yeah, if you shoot him fast enough, then yeah, you can totally prevent him from shooting them.
I'm not really using the powers too much.
The only thing you have to dodge is his charge. Message from Dr. Light. Item 1 completed.
I don't remember if Heatman's weapon's good, but this item 1 is good.
Yeah. Yeah, Atomic Fire is the weapon you'd use against Woodman. It's like, it was a good idea for a weapon, but again, it's kind of executed poorly. But hey, it was the first weapon you could charge in the series.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to hop off. It's getting close to bedtime for everyone. I don't want to be making too much noise.
See you later.
But thanks for having me on. This was really fun.
Yeah.
Later.
Later.
Show me the fireman tool. H. Oh, it's charged.
Yep, it's charged.
Wait.
Warning. Now you have to keep it for a while. It's like whenever you charge up, the tone of your weapon will change accordingly. And yeah, by the way, charging your weapon uses your weapon energy as shit.
Yeah, this weapon sucks, man. I hate it.
That's not a great weapon.
It's getting a bad point for being worthless, actually. I hate it. Just because some boss is weak to it doesn't mean shit. We got Metal Blade. There's absolutely no reason to ever use Heat Man. Looks like to me. This music's a slapper. Ow. I don't like the stage though. It's some unfair points for that one.
Yeah, choose your own paths. Some paths are better than the other.
Let me try and get this HP.
Yeah, that will help.
Didn't make it.
Ow.
The alternate route thing is cool, but you need Crash to get to it.
Yeah, this level has a whole lot of crash gates.
It's a bunch of falling and I just don't like it. I don't like much about it.
Yeah, this level... I really like the visuals of it, but as an actual level, it's pretty poor. And hey, by the way, you picked the wrong path. Now you're gonna have to deal with all of these huge-ass jumping robots.
Yep.
If you don't have air shooter here, yeah, you might almost want to kill yourself.
Well, what else is new? This guy is gonna respawn, I bet you. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, at the very least, you can quick air shoot him and then use your number 1 to climb out of this mess.
No.
No!
I thought he'd shoot as fast as the first Sniper Joe, but he's slow as heck. God, this is crappy. This stage just stinks.
Just like this level just doesn't really do anything fun or interesting, and almost all the enemies in it are annoying.
Most of the levels have been thematic, and this is not that at all. It's just crystals blinking and Sniper Joe. Yeah, how you doing?
Yep, it's everywhere into his big-ass mick of despair.
Yeah. There's too many Big Joes. I'm giving him a bad point. Flash Man, I don't remember as a boss. I feel like he's lame. I don't know what he's weak to, but Buster is included in the list.
Oh yeah, I think Buster deals double damage. Yeah, it does. But yeah, he's also weak against Metal and Bubble. I think his intended weakness in the chain is Bubble, but yeah, he's also weak against Metal. So.
It's unique that he can freeze you, but man, it sucks ass. So he's just a bad boss. I hate that they freeze you, but it's a neat idea. Maybe somebody can do it well, but they never have.
Yeah, pretty much all of the bosses that could stop time have never been good.
We got Time Stopper though, and that's a cool weapon, right? That's original and good. It works on the stages better than the bosses. Item 3 is the wall climber thing. That's neat.
Yeah, it's the thing that bounces on the floor, and then when it reaches a wall, then it starts moving up.
Well, here's this.
Yep, quick man.
Let me highlight that unfair button. It's ready. I don't know if I like this song or not yet.
I'd say not the most melodic song of the soundtrack, but I'd say it kind of captures like the manic feeling of the stage, I'd say.
It's alright. Well, that part's not unfair. This is, though. That's one room that shouldn't exist. That room actually is pretty good.
Yeah, the first Quickman lasers are pretty good.
That freaking tease pisses me off. I'm gonna go get that stuff. So how do you get that stuff? Just...
Yeah, you have to fall. Yeah, you have to. Yep, there we go.
I don't feel like anyone would ever fall to the right on purpose, but there's nothing stopping you from just holding right and getting that stuff.
Yep. Essentially, you can just brute force your way.
I don't feel like only one of those rooms was really unfair, but the other two were bad. I just don't like instant death garbage. This guy's cool as hell, and he's light in the sky.
Yeah, too bad that I think this is like, it's a one-off idea that unfortunately never really gets reused, but yeah, the way that it's used at the very least, it's like, it's not really bad.
This one's garbage.
Yeah, this room is bad.
This
room is also bad.
Shitty.
Because if you haven't entered this room properly, then you're gonna die.
I would hate the pitchback rooms, but they are harmless, so you just hold right and jump and you'll get through it.
Yeah, so there's absolutely no obstacles, so it's just like, they're just here to make things moody.
I'm giving unfair garbage for each room that is unfair. That's how I'm gonna limit this to not being 10.
And even then, it's probably just gonna end up being that.
That one also is just too tight. This one's just
this
bad.
one is okay.
I didn't make it,
Oh,
but that's my fault for being slow. Maybe not.
I don't know. I don't think that.
I didn't make it because
that's because of the way you entered the screen.
Yeah. It's like it's punishing you for your nonsense.
Yeah, it's punishing you for not having the psychic ability of knowing how the next room is going to be.
I'm only half paying attention to it, so I'm not giving it the memorized treatment that I usually would, and I think that's amplifying how bad this actually is. A new player would die here 10 times.
Yep.
Time stopper does work here, though. You're right about that.
But
where's that?
Yeah, but the problem is that you're not gonna be able to use it against the boss.
Yep, and that's a good idea that works here. That's why this is here. So that's cool, and I do like that.
But that's the one thing that I really don't like with Time Stopper in this game is the whole once you turn it on, you cannot turn it off until it runs out of energy.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
bad.
dumb.
I'm marking them bad for that. This room is also just bad. Like, I think that's it on them. I think I got them all measured.
Yep.
Only like 2 of them were done in a way that was fair. They just shouldn't be instant death, honestly. The instant death part is killer. Why do they have to kill you instantly? Those 2 idiots would be
challenge.
Lame. Quick Man with the Buster.
Yep. He's weak against it, but yeah, his other weakness will be crash bombs, and even then it's obscenely hard to use against him because, as his name says, he's way too fucking fat.
He's hard, but I think he's a good boss.
Yeah, it's a boss where at the very least, even though a whole lot of his shit is really hard to dodge, well, first of all, Quick Man also takes damage really fast, and to his boomerangs don't deal that much damage. If anything, he deals way more contact damage than actual boomerang damage.
Well, it's time for the bad part of the game. We have a lot of points in originality and stuff. There were a lot more interesting enemies in this than in Mega Man 1. That's where a lot of those points came from. This cutscene opening is gonna get 2 points just because it whips ass. Look at that castle.
Oh yeah.
It's got a nice jingle. This measuring screen.
Whenever you'd see that fortress going on, you'd be like, oh shit, now things are real.
Here's your inevitable slapper.
Yep. One song that doesn't need introduction.
Using these powers here, you'll have to have them. I think it's fine. I don't necessarily think it's a good idea. It's whatever. I don't personally like it when they do that shit, but it doesn't bother me that much. You just gotta open the menu and pick a thing.
Yeah, it's just too bad that in this game the menu isn't too great because of the whole, hey, it fits under 2 screens thing, which is kind of unpractical. Like, it took until Mega Man 4 for menus to be good.
Quick Man's weapon I feel like is a good one. Let me look at that.
It's decent. Not the best, but it's alright.
If Metal Blade weren't in here, I feel like this would be my go-to damage weapon.
Yeah, at the very least, it's good for rapid fire
Yeah.
and stuff. I mean, it works alright against the Sniper Joe for sure, so hey. They earn points here.
It's a fine weapon.
Oh yeah, that's right, and I think any projectile that doesn't hit anything, then it just gets refunded to you.
That's true. Like, you know what? I'm gonna get another good point for that. Amazing.
Oh no, actually no, your power went down, but the thing is, your quick boomerang has so much power, so you can spam it a bunch.
Yeah. This...
Like, look at how much shots you're getting out of this. It's like, it's about 6 boomerangs per digit or...
This room sucks.
Yeah.
It's not unfair, it's just dumb. I hate it.
Yeah.
It's too much tool use. Here's a ladder climb.
Yep. It's there.
How about this boss? Unfair?
It's like I'd give it both a good idea and a bad idea because I just hate the fact that if you get hit during this boss, you're most guaranteed to die. But come on, it's a fucking dragon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's immune to damage right now, right?
Yeah, you have to wait for the health bar to come in.
I don't feel like that's very clear because that part goes on too long, so like... Point for boss, entrance, and dragon. Bad for that. And unfair for the instant death aspect of the whole arena. But the fight itself is dumb.
Yep.
It's just hopping around and dodging really slow projectiles, and it will kill you almost guaranteed.
Yep, just because of the recoil that
oh my god.
so...
Disgusting flash.
Yep. Gonna experience the pain that this boss is going through.
Where do we get put?
Wow. Oh yeah, by the way, you get sent all the way back here because fuck putting checkpoints right next to the boss.
Yeah, that's something that gets fixed later.
But the thing is that even Mega Man 1 had checkpoints before the bosses, so in a way this is kind of a step backwards.
Yeah, it is. This is a thing here. You might have to end up grinding item 1 energy if you fail too many times.
Yep.
Ugh, shit.
Yeah, this room is tighter than it seems like. It's like you really must not waste time.
Yeah, in retrospect, this is bad and gets unfair if you fail. I gotta beat this dumb garbage again.
Like, if you run out of weapon energy, you pretty much gotta go all the way back down in order to farm item from this generator thingy that just creates these little lightning-like enemies.
Well, at least you get to listen to this slapper.
Yep.
What's this boss weak to?
He's weak against Boomerang. It's like for some reason a whole bunch of the bosses in the Wily Fortress happen to be weak to Boomerang.
Well, I'll rewind now.
Oh no. Yeah.
These are not free jumps either. I've missed them before. Is he really weak to this? Shit, he got me again.
Ow.
I just need to play less aggressively than I am.
Yep, there we go. Oh, atomic fire apparently works. Ugh. I don't know, I wouldn't want to use atomic fire against that thing. If anything, this is a fight that you want over as fast as possible.
Maybe you can charge it while you're running through. Those are nice looking fans.
Yeah.
Dude pulling his own cord, man. I don't think I gave points for that kick-ass idea.
Yeah, that robot is neat.
Here they refund you for item 2, I suppose. Oh my god.
Oh, yeah, by the way, you used it too high. How does it feel?
What the fuck? Feels good.
Yeah, if you run out of your weapon energy thing, then hey, you're pretty much gonna have to kill these things in order to refund your energy.
And I went to the wrong place, but we do have crash bombs.
Yeah, it's just like, this is awful. I'm sorry, but it's just like, oh, you did not know to wait on the platform for long. Hey, instead of having this E-tank, have these 3 barriers to destroy, idiot.
And then they tease you with this amazing other path that has lives and shit. You know what? Let's back up and just get all the goodies. Can you jump over crash walls? Maybe. Well, whatever. I don't care about that. That's whatever. The real problem here is that this exists. What the?
Yeah, there should not have been like these 2 paths, and make it so that, hey, if you fail, then they rub it, they rub the salt in the wound that much by making the other path look so much nicer.
I need this. Yeah, there's some replayability going here, but I don't feel like that's good replayability. You can just not do that. Well, this room sucks. I think it's dumb. I don't think it's... Would you ever fall here and fail?
Not really. It's like, if anything, the scrolling of the screen is slow enough that you'll know what's incoming, and if you fall on the right, then you're just going to have this platform in order to make it so that you're not gonna kill yourself.
What the fuck? No weapon energy at all. Oh, finally. Just refill the one I was farming with.
Yeah, these things are here essentially in order to allow you to farm if in case that you want some more number 3 because you need it here.
Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah, only the top of the chain, apparently.
Yeah, top of the chain is deadly. Also, this is kind of shitty because Mega Man kind of has like this thing where he slides around a little bit whenever you stop him in this game, so yeah, it's kind of easy to die. Ah, no, fuck. That energy will have been so nice because this boss hits like a truck. Like, and overall this boss is kind of inoffensive, but it definitely deals a lot of damage, and I think if you die, you'll be back into the corridor with the drills.
Oh yeah? I'm gonna give him an unfair point every time a bad checkpoint shows up.
Yeah, Wily is pretty notorious for bad checkpointing.
How hard does the guy hit? Oh my god, yeah, unfair for that too. Why? He doesn't need to hit that hard. Eat shit. He's fine otherwise. He killed me in 2 hits from half life. Yeah, he's just brutal.
Yep, this block definitely fucks around. Doesn't fuck around. Yeah, it's like most of the block spawns are alright, but then you can just get killed because you're not gonna know which is the order that the blocks will ambush you from, so...
Wily 2's music was boring. I don't think there's any other great songs in this game. I think we were out.
No, we've heard all of the good bangers. Because, hey, otherwise you can have this great song.
I appreciate the refills. I'll give him a point for that.
Yeah, but hey.
Not this though. Unfair. Just
welcome to sewage water treatment place.
Dude,
yeah, just this song is boring. That's the big problem.
This is the first pit-based enemy, but you're not gonna get hit by them anyway. They're practically just flare because you're going to have to jump really high anyway. You're not gonna get hit by those ever.
Yep.
This is nonsense here, though. More unfair points coming up.
I don't know. I would not say unfair. I will just put in bad.
If it wasn't instant death, I would.
Because that's a thing that almost every other Mega Man game afterward will end up doing.
And I'll keep giving them unfair points. Look at these two.
Yeah, I'll give him 2.
This dude cranking his own gun. Give him some points for that. I love it. But yeah, the instant death.
Pretty neat, although it's kind of on the unfair side.
I love this boss, I think.
Oh yeah, this boss, however, is cool. Like, as much as we drag like on the Wily bosses and everything, especially in 1, this boss rules. And as a bonus, he's not really too hard.
He's fine. He makes mess. He's great.
Yep, gut stank.
My only complaint really is the hitbox on where you can jump is weird.
Yeah, just like you must not touch the feet.
Just spawn me midair in the pit.
Oh, okay.
Unfair.
Nah. At least you're out of the danger list. I still think it would have been better to spawn you into this one room to begin with, but hey.
Yeah, you're right. That's a bad point. I'll have to remember to not count the next unfair point that surely will happen, because I know that it will happen.
Yeah, I had no idea that checkpoint was here. Yeah, because nobody dies to gut stick.
That's right.
Yeah, I think he's weak to boomerang as well. Yeah, I guess that Wily just really liked guts, man. Just like, he looked at that and he was like, man, I wish I invented that. Alright, and now welcome to this old level. At this point, I think we probably can give this level like 5 unfair points.
I like the refill at the start.
And yeah, probably will refill the stuff, by the way. Make sure that your C is filled up.
I'm good.
Okay, perfect.
There's an extra life over there. There's some ladders. With obnoxious, is this where the floor is fake?
Yep, that's the level with the fake floor.
I hate the concept of this, and it's especially bad in this game because you can barely make the jump. If that floor were visibly empty, I still wouldn't make this jump most of the time. Like 3 out of 4 jumps, I'd fail. Can you even do this?
Anything? I'd say use numbered. Oh,
the ceiling's fake,
look
so
at
you
that.
can do it.
Yep, this whole part of the thing is fake. But yeah, the shitty thing with this is that there's no indicator that the floor is fake.
Yeah.
Like, you have to guess.
It's so stupid.
Yep.
I hate the gimmick. Double bad on this gimmick. I know which ones are fake now because I've fallen down them all.
Yep, and yet you still fell down.
Yep.
Because again, no way to tell. Just have to know.
And now there's spikes, which I think we're leaning into unfair at this point. So you can bubble lead this one.
Personally, I always use a number 2 here. It's like, fuck this. I don't even want to try and figure out where's the floor and whatnot. No, skip all of it.
I want that E-tank. Let's earn it. The hard jump.
Yeah, or you can use a number 1. Oh god, yeah, but that's however you needed to refill this thing, because, oh fuck. You might be fucked against the boss.
We'll get him.
But you just left 2 full refill things at the beginning of the level that you're never gonna be able to come back to, because now you went past the checkpoint.
I think this part's stupid.
Yeah, it's a time waster.
We have iframes on the... That's a new and good idea. Iframes on the... Starting me on the ladder like this is dumb. It's just bad. This room's bad too. It's not unfair. It's stupid. It's a puzzle room. It will kill you, and the checkpoint will send you way the hell back.
Nah, it sends you before this segment.
Good. Here's Metal Blade.
But the big problem with this whole segment is that it doesn't really give you any good opportunities to refill your energy, and we'll see soon why refilling your energy is kind of a big deal. But yeah, this is a part that you can pretty much totally trivialize with Wood Shield, because then most of the time you just stay idle and you let the shield kill everything. Oh, and now welcome to the puzzle! Because now you're probably thinking, oh, I can just ride this platform here, but no, you can't, because that thing is way too tiny for you.
It's bad too. I hate it. Here's these guys, who are also bad. Of all the enemies to put here to farm, these nightmares.
Oh, and by the way, good luck avoiding this sucker.
I hate him. More bad. Oh, he's back and bigger than ever.
Yep, he's back in bug form.
He's back again. 3 in a row.
Oh my god. Right, refill your number 1, you're gonna need it.
Yep, so here comes some criticism. This boss up here is the worst thing in the game. Hands down to me.
I'm not gonna say it's the worst thing in the game. I will go and say it's probably the worst thing in the whole fucking series.
This is triple unfair. Rivaling Yellow Devil. I gave it too many points there. Hold on a second. I think I screwed up already, right?
Yep, you already fucked up.
It hits too hard. Nothing about it is any good at all. You have to do this without breaking a wall.
Or at least you only break the walls which are mandatory for the boss to be destroyed.
We should be at 22 unfair, so let me fix that while I die.
And yeah, by the way, you're back all the way there. Hell yeah.
Oh, good. So 22 unfair is correct. Let's rewind, save some time. But yeah, we would.
Yeah.
We would. Have to do this whole fight over every time until we figure out this dumb puzzle that is extremely specific and immediately lures you into doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, the fact that you need to use the entire weapon supply is just garbage.
That's a failure.
Oh, yep, you failed. All right, time to restart the whole level again.
It's just one of these things that, did you beat this as a kid without any help? Just figuring out what the weakness is will take you a little minute.
Yeah, and then you have to figure out that you're not allowed to squander a single shot. Yeah, I did not beat this as a kid. If anything, I was more like a Commodore 64 kind of kid. Oh yeah, you probably should use an E-tank.
Ah! I died. I thought I could dodge it. Yep.
Remember, whenever you lose all of your lives, you lose all of your E-tanks. So make sure you use them.
That's true. Everything about this is terrible. It's just, he's just ridiculously hard to dodge. He's only weak to one thing. He's not weak to the buster at all for no reason, no good reason.
Yep. Oh my god.
Hurry.
For the love of God, use an E-tank.
Never.
Oh, this game is good because it has E-tanks, but I'm not gonna use the E-tanks.
The boss is bad as a concept. The other bad point, and it gets like 4 unfair points for being the worst thing in the series, probably.
Yep.
And here's this. I don't like boss refights. I think this is an original idea that's bad to make us fight all of them together like this.
Yep.
As opposed they went backwards from the first game and they stayed backwards from it. I hate that. The first game has something over all of them pretty much. It's better at this.
Yep.
I don't hate the idea of fighting them again, but putting them all together is just a big grind. It sucks.
Yeah, it feels there just to waste your time.
They do heal you though, so they'll get points for that. So we'll break even on it.
Yep. So hey, have another point for a good idea, at the very least.
It's not as hard as the refights in the first one.
Yeah, just because at least you get health. That said, it's totally possible, however, that if you kill the boss when you're on the left of the playfield, you will probably leave the arena before you get the health, so therefore you can just end up having your whole thing squandered.
Thanks for the untouchable shot there, Airman. You're a pro. Ugh.
Yeah, but By the way, even if you're in Man's ass, forget about it. He's still going to
Forget about it.
you. Alright, Woodman. Alright, do we have Atomic Fire just in order to showcase how good the wrong weapon.
It's Heat Man, not F Man.
Yep. Fireman. Like, at the very least, a weakness kills him in 2 hits, and 1 if you're playing on normal, because then that will kill him instantly.
That's Bubble Man, week 2. Metal Blade?
Metal.
I mean, not really, but not as weak as Pushman is to fire.
Yeah, I think Atomic Fire can be used also against Wily, at least his first form, but then his first form is pretty easy as it is, so...
I mean, this is a pretty lame weakness, but whatever.
Yeah, and even then it doesn't do the full job either.
I haven't really been measuring the weaknesses on the bosses. I feel like that's just a gimmick to make the games easier. And when it's needed to win, like it has been in some of these fights, I feel like it's complete nonsense. Buster dueling them is the gold standard. I think they should be Buster duelable, all of them.
Yeah.
The weaknesses in this game are too powerful.
Yeah, even on difficult. I mean, come on, this boss dies in 3 hits. On difficult. Oh, and now here's for the best fight of the game.
What's his normal weakness?
His intended weakness is a quick boomerang, but yeah, using metal is just more fun. Because then it kills him in 2 hits.
Oh, you can auto-fire this thing. I'm giving it another point. I think I already gave it 2. You can just hold down fire on this sucker.
Oh, that's nice. I didn't even know that.
Eat bubbles.
Yep.
Pretty lame.
Yeah.
Just like Flash Man.
It's like Bubble just seems to deal as much damage as the Buster would anyway, so... Huh. And now Wily!
Is this isn't the final Wily.
No, this is the first 2 forms of Wily.
This is very similar to the first boss from last time. A little harder.
I'd say they probably did not sweat too hard whenever they designed this one phase.
Yeah, I'm not giving them any originality for almost copy-pasting the first thing. This is different, though.
Yeah. The second Wily phase, however, is pretty hard. But at least now everything doesn't flicker in and out of existence like it did in the first fight. So I'd say almost give a good point just for that, because now the whole boss fight doesn't get lost in a sea of endless flickering.
We have E-tanks, and that's just part of the game now, so... Yep. Eat shit, Wily.
They're there to be used.
That's a big deal, that those exist. And you'll have them. I don't feel like you're gonna get here without them. You can go get more if you need to. Are there any in this stage in particular, on the continue? If you got game over here, can I get E-tanks on the way back in?
No.
You have to do this
There is
legit.
absolutely no E-tanks on this level or anything. This whole stage is just the 8 boss fights as well, then the Wily
I
fight.
felt like that was a bad set of bosses.
But at least they just kept the bosses and everything, and they did not do like the mistake that I'd say 9 ended up doing, and it was to put like a really hard level before the bosses,
Yeah.
and finally all 3 Wily phases, all one after the other.
Giving them a flare point for this whole section. That really hurts, though.
Oh boy.
What the fuck?
Yeah, the level thing definitely hurts. I think it hurts about as much as I'd say the Pogo guys in the first game. They drain the 1/3 of your health. Yep. Now for the interesting. I don't know. I really don't know what to say about this boss. Personally, I probably would put in a bad design thing because...
Is he only weak to bubble?
Yeah, he's only weak against bubble, and if you hit him with anything else, you will heal him.
That's double unfair.
And also, this level has no energy pickups whatsoever, so if you run out of bubbles, then you have to kill yourself to get a game over and restore all your weapon energy.
Cool.
And in the process, also lose all of your E-tanks. I mean, at the very least, the boss is really easy. It just...
Yeah, he hits hard.
The whole fight process is just... It's a figure 8 and he shoots at you. So
He's boring as
really
hell.
Cryptic. Yeah.
It's bad. It's a bad boss with 2 unfair points attached. Oh shit, I missed my bubble. I might not have enough.
Yeah, you might be hosed.
I gotta back up and not miss a single shot of this. Nope.
Yeah, you're gonna need all your ammo. Even then, I'm not sure you're going to make it. You might have already failed.
And this is just because I used bubbles on the weak guy. The guy's weak to it. It just took that many shots away. Oh no. He's getting me in a weird pattern there.
Yeah, weapon tanks I think were only a thing. Well, I'd say to some extent in 5 with the M tank. But the weapon tanks themselves were in 7. Ah, you're gonna be like 1 shot or 2 short.
Oh boy!
Yep, there we go. You run out of bubble, and the whole fight is pretty much lost.
Well, at least it won't take me long to die. With this acid hitting for 1,000,000 damage.
Yep. Kills you in 3 hits.
Well, I think we're at the final scores of Mega Man 2. What do you think of our scoreboard?
I'd say sounds about right. Like, it's a game that I really like a whole bunch, but yeah, I cannot debate the fact that it is pretty damn flawed. But I still like it a bunch, though.
We are looking for stage design, boss fights, weapon design, good music, and that's pretty much it, right? Just elements of stage design. As we come across them, if they suck, we put points into these fields. So our scores, I think the numbers are all higher than they were for Mega Man 1, just because only 6 bosses. Wily stages are shorter. There's less game. This is almost twice as much game at the end of the day than Mega Man 1 is.
Yeah, just after Mega Man 1, this game was a huge step forward.
I'm gonna make graphs on the fly. In the future, I have graphs that will just be there in place of these numbers. But I will have a big old YouTube video of my opinions on everything. I've recorded the game footage so that I can really easily talk about how these games changed each.
Yeah, just like... I'm kind of torn about the Wily Castle in this, because I'd say, in overall, it was a very memorable area of the game. Like, you're definitely gonna remember this after you're done, but for the most part, it's kind of bad.
The scale I made, originality includes flair and stuff, and that's where you get a lot of those points. Like this, I feel like the section here, and this too.
Yeah, with that said, however, I like this. However.
Yeah, I'm dropping 2 points here because this kicks ass, and the ending's good. So originality includes things like that, artwork and stuff. Ideas.
Like, hey, by the way, the boss was an illusion by Dr. Wily, and look how stupid it is now. Here we go. Push-ups of defeat activated.
The boss sucks, but the ending and what he actually is just a hologram that hits for 1,000,000 damage for some reason is funny. The ending's good.
Yeah, and in the end, even though the boss having only one weakness sucks, at least it kind of makes sense because, hey, using bubble, you just short out the hologram.
As a kid, I would have put up with that. He's nowhere near as bad as the bomb boss.
Yeah, but then nothing really beats the bomb boss in terms of trash attitude.
I mean, if I got past that stupid wall, I would definitely have roughed it and figured out how to beat this guy. I would have tried every weapon and found out that bubble does damage quickly enough, and I would have gone through again. Got him. That's 2 out of 11 games done.
Yep.
We have our scoreboard. I can pull up this first game here and compare them in a second. The first game,
I don't know.
26, 27, 29, 6, and 28. More unfair garbage in less game on Mega Man 1. But, all around, lots of originality and good ideas in both of these games. They both loaded up good and bad shit into a package and shipped it out.
Although no, I will absolutely not say that Gate in X6 makes a hard showing his competition. No, he's nowhere near close. The Gate fight was complete trash, but it's not the beam wall. Just no way.
I did measure more bad ideas in this game than in Mega Man 1. Mega Man 1 kind of broke even on good and bad. But, this game just has more content.
Yeah, but good content doesn't always mean that the whole and everything is going to be good.
I like the weapons in this game better than the first game.
Yeah, and overall I think it has definitely a much more well-rounded arsenal with less duds, I'd say, because for the most part, like in the first game, you had Gutsman weapon, which was like almost entirely useless apart from getting the magnet beam.
The thing to keep in mind about my rating system is I'm not giving them points for reusing an idea really that was good. So Mega Man 1 had good ideas like bosses have weaknesses. That's not really a thing to credit the rest
just
of
like
these
we're
for.
not gonna be on Mega Man 11 and be like, oh, look at that, the bosses still have weaknesses.
Yeah, so that's where some of those points came from. Let me put this
Atomic Fire, it's a neat idea, but as a weapon, it just doesn't work well. But hey, it was the first charging weapon of the whole series. And I guess to some extent that will eventually end up paving the way to the Mega Buster.
I want to put the MM1 scoreboard up next to it real quick, because I can do that really easily. Here it is. MM1's on the left. As you can see, there's just way less room for score. There's just not as much stuff.
Yep. Yeah, we can just say overall the second game definitely left way more of an impression.
But a lot of
3
headaches.
is also my favorite. Half as much game, but 4 times more unfair core.
Yeah, that's really the stat to care about, honestly. Bad ideas is they had an idea, they tried to implement it. I don't feel like they did it right. It was an idea though. Unfair garbage is more important because that's really what makes the game suck ass. And even with just way less, like 30 minutes to an hour less content, Mega Man 1 had more of that shit. It had Gutsman's tractor beam, it had Yellow Devil, and some other stuff. The Yellow Devil isn't as bad as that wall, but he's not free either.
Yeah,
Man,
the big problem with the Yellow Devil is that the fight is so tedious. It's like, I'd say this fight has like 2 of the biggest sins that I see like in an overall video game boss or something. Long, boring, and difficult.
Yes. That's it for me.
I'm definitely gonna... I'm definitely gonna enjoy like a hard fight more if it's short and everything. But yeah, if you make it like absolutely about as fun as putting your feet into a water filled with piranha, nah.
Yeah, I gave Yellow Devil originality points. I didn't give the wall originality points because that's not fun or interesting at all. It's just a stupid wall with things hidden behind it. Yellow Devil, on the other hand, breaks apart and goes across the room. Conceptually, the idea sounds neat. I can see a bunch of people getting excited about the concept of that being made as they design it. They had fun with it. They just went overboard, unfortunately. I'm gonna shout out to Loon and head over there. Thanks for joining me, Psych.
You're welcome.